Welcome to the Power Circuit, your trusted window into Nigeria's evolving power sector. This program is proudly brought to you by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, the nation's foremost agency responsible for the bulk transmission of electricity across the country. Our goal is to keep you informed with key industry insights, major developments, and important updates from the Nigerian electricity supply industry. Let's see. I'm your host, Amara Agugesi, and here's what we have coming up on today's edition. TCN AFDB hosts validation workshop for battery energy storage system. Power sector stakeholders tasked with collective action against vandalism to ensure stable electricity. A special focus on health, safety and environment HSE will come your way from the Kano Transmission region of TCN. We will be speaking with Mrs. Fumi Toye, a principal manager HSE at TCN, in the interview segment. The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, in partnership with the African Development Bank, AFDB, has successfully held a validation workshop for the Battery Energy Storage System BESS feasibility study in Abuja. Let's get you more on this.
Speaking at the occasion, the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of TCN, Engineer Sule Ahmed Abdulaziz, represented by the General Manager, Engineering, Engineer Mujid Akintola, tasked the stakeholders to actively contribute to the discussions at the workshop to reflect the power sector realities in Nigeria. Engineer Abdulaziz further commended the initiative and described it as timely as Nigeria continues to pursue greater stability in electricity supply. The BESS project is a forward-looking measure by TCN in collaboration with AFDB to address system instability and enhance grid balancing in the country. In his remarks, Professor Tajuddin Sikiru, the lead consultant for the project from the African Development Bank, AFDB, emphasized the critical importance of the validation of the report and noted that the future of Nigeria's electricity sector depends on the outcomes of the workshop. Lead Energy Access, Energy Market and Race Consultants, EMRC, Mr. Adebayo Olajide, briefed the participants on the assignment scope, methodology, deliverables, and key findings to guide the working group's review process. Working group participants brainstormed on the different tasks at the technical review session, examining assigned report sections and proposing corrections, validations, and priority recommendations.
The workshop continued the next day with working groups making vital inputs to the strategy for the implementation of the battery energy storage system BESS in Nigeria.
Also speaking, the project manager, AFDB Project Implementation Unit at TCN, Engineer Omobola Odushoga Shobo, emphasized action plans towards implementing the project in Nigeria, including the validation workshop.
The feasibility study of the network was carried out, and stimulation was conducted on the nodes. So during the stimulation, we have 4 sites identified to carry out a pilot study on this BESS. And this validation is to validate the working document for the commercial purpose of the implementation of BESS.
We've been able to do the validation of the BESS, which is a battery energy storage system, and it has been so wonderful, fantastic.
From my experience, I have seen that they've really done a great work in environment, and we are glad that we are going to be part of the World Environment Compliance people.
The BioSecure crew spoke to participants on the sideline of the workshop as they shared their thoughts.
We took observations and comments from the participants, which we will use in improving the study reports that we've drafted.
We're just very lucky and fortunate to be able to contribute, give our own perspectives, our own point of view, provide feedback, and hopefully at the end of it, it will all work out fine and we'll see the inputs we made to the project.
It was a lovely experience interacting with colleagues from different arms of the government, and we hope the project is successful in the future.
The validation workshop was very timely. We were able to identify the gaps within the document, make our valuable inputs, and we were promised by the consultant that all the inputs made will be incorporated into the document.
So we'll be able to share ideas and make recommendations and observations into making this asset a very successful one by the time it has been deployed into the power grid.
The Transmission Company of Nigeria (TCN) has called for urgent collective action to tackle vandalism and sabotage of transmission infrastructure towards realizing a stable electricity grid. This was at the Parliamentary and Stakeholders Engagement Summit on Power Sector Reforms in Lagos.
The summit was convened to review Nigeria's electric power and gas sector reforms from 2007 to 2024, with all key sector players in attendance. The TCN Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Engineer Sule Ahmed Abdulaziz, represented by TCN General Manager, Transmission Services, Ali Sharifai, at the summit, said vandalism and sabotage of transmission infrastructure continue to disrupt power supply, increase repair costs, and undermine investments in the sector.
While TCN has recorded significant achievements, it is important to transparently acknowledge the key challenges facing the Nigerian electricity supply industry. First, vandalism and sabotage of transmission infrastructure continue to disrupt power supply, increase repair costs, and undermine investment in the sector. Protecting electricity infrastructure requires stronger security measures, community cooperation, and stricter legal deterrent. Secondly, persistent encroachment on transmission right of way creates safety risk, hinders maintenance activities, and constrains future network expansion. This calls for coordinated action among federal, state, and local authorities, supported by the stronger legal framework.
He noted, TCN has demonstrated strong delivery capacity with verifiable achievements, including an 8,700 megawatts wheeling capacity.
The Transmission Company of Nigeria has remained steadfast in its commitment to build a stronger, more resilient, and enhance transmission network. Over the years, our focus has been on expanding network capacity, reinforcing critical infrastructure, modernizing our operations, improving system reliability, and positioning the transmission network to meet the growing energy demands of a rapidly developing nation. Despite the numerous challenges confronting the power sector, TCN has continued to record substantial progress in expanding, strengthening, and modernizing the national transmission network. Through deliberate planning and strategic investment, we have continued to improve transmission capacity and operational performance. TCN's performance is best demonstrated by measurable results. Over the past few years, TCN has expanded the nation bulk wheeling capacity from about 7,000 megawatts to 8,700, adding 1,700 megawatts of transmission capability through strategic investment supported by the federal government and development partners. On March 4, 2024, as I said, the National Grid achieved a historical peak transmission record of 5,801.84 megawatts and a record daily energy delivery of 128,370.75 megawatt hour, the highest ever recorded in Nigeria's electricity industry.
It has also commissioned 82 transformers in 23 months, mobilized over $1.4 billion in development financing, and advanced national SCADA deployment, among other milestones.
Between January 2024 and November 2025, TCN commissioned 82 number transformers adding approximately 8,500 MVA of transformation capacity nationwide, while also delivering key substations and transmission line projects that have improved grid reliability, redundancy, and operational flexibility across all geopolitical zones. TCN has also mobilized over $1.4 billion in development financing from the World Bank, AFDB, JICA, and AFD to support transmission expansion and modernization projects nationwide. In parallel, the company is advancing grid digitalization through the implementation of nationwide SCADA system, which will provide real-time network visibility, faster fault management, improved dispatch efficiency, and the foundation for future smart grid operation.
There is also a need for stronger legal protection of critical electricity infrastructure.
TCN respectfully calls for stronger legal protection of critical electricity infrastructure, a nationally consistent right-of-way protection framework, adequate and timely funding for priority transmission projects, full implementation of the Electricity Act 2023, continued effort to strengthen the financial sustainability of the electricity market, and coordinated investment across generation, gas supply, transmission, and distribution. Reliable electricity requires a sectoral approach, while TCN has developed and is implementing short, medium, and long-term transmission expansion plans. Achieving Nigeria's full electricity potential depends on aligned investments, supportive policies, regulatory certainty, and effective collaboration across the entire value chain. TCN remains fully committed to support the vision of the Electricity Act 2023 and working with government, regulators, investors, and other stakeholders to build a stronger, more reliable, and globally competitive power sector capable of driving Nigeria's economic growth and industrial development.
Participants at the summit include the leadership of the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, NEMSA, Ad hoc Committee on Power Sector Reform, among others.
I believe that if we can actually look closely about the commercial viability of the sector, we can actually resolve all these challenges, including technical, including both human capacity. because there is a need for human capacity development in the sector as well. Technology is already there. We are not providing or offering new technology. It's just about adoption, at least to start with. And to adopt those technology, investment will have to be made. And for investment to be made, there must be a pathway to recovery. So we believe that this roundtable discussion will definitely provide the opportunity for all the players, both within the sector and outside the sector, to look at all the challenges and hover sustainable solution that can be adopted to resolve the problems once and for all.
Coming your way shortly is the interview segment of the Power Circuit, just after these timeouts.
The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, transmits bulk electricity from power generating companies, GenCos, to distribution load centers of distribution companies, DISCOs, nationwide. At TCN, we transport bulk electricity at very high voltage to DISCOs, who now off-take it and distributes it directly to electricity customers nationwide. TCN does not generate electricity. We transport the quantum of power generated to distribution load centers. TCN does not distribute electricity directly to electricity consumers. Our job stops where that of the DISCOs begin. TCN, transmitting bulk electricity in the most efficient and effective manner.
Let's move to the Kano Transmission region of TCN for an interview with Mrs. Fumi Toye, Principal Manager HSE, overseeing safety affairs in the region. In this interview, she speaks of the core activities in ensuring that man, equipment, and the environment are safe in the entire region, especially during routine maintenance of power transformers, lines, and substations. Hear her speak. What is the role of your department at TCN?
The main role of our department is to ensure that all the HSE measures on ground are in compliance with the law of the land. And secondly, for us to act positively in the most reasonably practicable way to ensure that we protect our staff from injury, protect them from illness, and protect the organization from damages and losses during operations. That is our major job function.
How has TCN dealt with the challenge of right-of-way encroachment?
What we have done is that we engage services of civil defense, DSS to this, and also we ask traditional rulers to help us in our sensitization of the locals so that they understand the implication of what they are doing. And at times, we barricade the right of way to prevent them from entering the right of way.
Are there health implications of staying right on the power transmission lines?
Yes, there are health implications. These lines emit electromagnetic frequencies, fields, and they have been known to be responsible for some type of cancers. Some type of cancers, they're known to cause sleeplessness and some neurological effects on human beings. Not only that these lines can snap. Once they snap, you know the consequences. It's either they get burnt or even die. So it's very dangerous to be playing around under the power transmission lines.
The excavation of sand around power transmission towers has been a major concern. How is TCN tackling this in the region?
Mostly is by sensitizing the locals, let them understand the consequences of their actions, and let them know that their actions can be far-reaching, not just them but the whole community. Because when you excavate this sand, the foundation of the towers are weakened. They can fall, and not only one will fall, they can drag other towers with it, and they all fall down. Then People under it at that point in time might be injured. Even they themselves not have life for a long time. They have to bear the consequences of those people. The gains of that excavation is less compared to the disadvantage of the excavation.
Could you recollect the various places you have carried out community sensitization so far on protecting transmission facilities?
I can remember being in Gata, being in Bakara community, and Shekara, Adacha Eton, Takata.
What is your message to Nigerians about safety around power transmission installations?
Power transmission lines are very high risk areas to use. People should avoid it as much as possible because they have health implications and it can also cause death. It is not something you can do with. Health-wise, it can cause cancer, it can cause neurological problems. On the other side, accidents are not planned. If this transmission line is snapped, there will be a big problem. It's either in the least dawns, at most death. So this should be avoided.
That was Mrs. Fumi Toye, Principal Manager HSE, overseeing the Kano Transmission Region of TCN. Maintaining high standards of health, safety and environment at transmission substations is essential for protecting lives, ensuring a reliable power supply and safeguarding Nigeria's environment. Let us commit to safe work practices today and always. Here are the highlights from today's episode. TCN AFDB hosts validation workshop for battery energy storage system. Power sector stakeholders tasked with collective action against vandalism to ensure stable electricity. We had a special focus on health, safety and environment HSE that featured an interview session with Mrs. Fumi Toye, a Principal Manager HSE in the TCN Kano Transmission Region. TCN is pleased to have you with us on the power circuit, bringing you greater insight into Nigeria's power sector. You can stay connected by visiting TCN's official YouTube channel via TCN_Nigeria, where you have access to all episodes. We also encourage you to show your support by following and engaging with TCN across all social media platforms. On Facebook, like the page Transmission Company of Nigeria. On LinkedIn, like the page via Transmission Company of Nigeria. On X, follow the company at TCN_Nigeria. On Instagram, stay updated via at TCN_Nigeria. TCN welcomes your feedback and observations. Please send your comments to affairs.public@tcn.org.ng. For more details about TCN's activities, visit the interactive website at www.tcn.org.ng or stay informed through a dedicated news platform at www.tcnnews.ng, designed to keep you up to date with developments in the power sector. We also urge you to support TCN by staying vigilant against vandalism of power transmission lines, towers and substations in your area. Please report any suspicious activity to TCN officials or the nearest security agency. I'm your host, Amara Agugesi. Let's have another exciting time next week.